G'day you beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to quickly talk about my hopes as far as stat tracking goes when it comes to quote unquote Paragon 2 by Unleashed Games, whether it be Project Phoenix Rising or any other game that takes inspiration from Paragon or emulates Paragon. So as far as Paragon went, there were very few stats that were actually made visible to players in-game. Kills, deaths, assists, minion kills, and structures destroyed. Apart from that, though, any other stats were non-existent in the match itself. I would love to see things like healing and shielding done, damage taken, siege damage, and hero damage being actual stats in the game. I am aware, for the record, that having more stats may seem like it gives players more ammo when it comes to being toxic to a player that they deem to be dead weight. But let's be honest, whether one stat or 50 stats are viewable in-game, those players will still find something to shove down other people's throats, so I don't think that that is an issue. I feel it's important for someone playing a healer to see how much healing they did versus the enemy healer, just like I feel that it's important for a tank that is building little to no damage to be able to see the damage they took versus the enemy tank. Being told how much damage you did instead of healing or tanking stats when playing these two roles doesn't offer any feedback as to how well you did. Your team may have won, but without visible stats to show you how you did, you could easily make the assumption that the other 4 members of your team carried you because you had no impact on the game. I'm not saying that that's the case, but that argument could be made. Take tanking, for example. Seeing that the enemy tank did slightly better as far as taking damage goes may make you attempt to dip out of combat a little bit later in the next match, if possible, which may lead to more damage being tanked, which may lead to more success in winning matches. Now, I know that a seasoned veteran in a tank role knows what to do and when to do it and how exactly well they are doing and whether they can do something differently. But new players, on the other hand, need to be informed of how they are doing in their chosen role. Telling someone that is playing Narbash that they killed X amount of minions and got X amount of kills isn't giving them the information necessary to improve as a healer. It tells them that they should take last hits from the carry and add more damage to their build. Not in all cases, clearly, but you get my point. And I am, I'm pushing that point a little bit far, but it's a valid example of how feedback that is given to a player, incorrect feedback that doesn't relate to the role that they are playing, can promote them towards doing something that isn't necessary or is detrimental to the to playing that role. Now, I may be a little bit biased on the topic as well because I love playing support, and to be completely honest, I have no idea how easy or hard it would be to implement these stats into the game. But I do know that it is possible. Having played a bit of Heroes of the Storm, I loved having healing and damage taken visible throughout the game. And after the game on the scoreboard, it makes you feel like you did something. And it's extremely important when it comes to incentivizing people to play certain roles. Sure, we've all dealt with a draft where everyone fights to not be support, and you end up with a stupid team comp because of it. Say you've already got a jungler locked in, someone like Chimera, and then the last person to pick needs to be support, but they refuse to do so. So they take someone and they run off into the jungle. You're left with a situation where everyone has their position. That guy is not going to move out of, guy or girl, is not going to move out of the jungle. So someone is forced to go and be the support. And normally in that instance, it would be the jungler, because they don't have a position. They could go to mid lane, they could go to off lane, but really it's going to be much of a muchness because they don't suit any of those 3 positions, but they have to go and do it anyway because that one person refuses to want to play support. I'm not insinuating that visible stats in games for these roles will fix that issue completely, but it definitely won't hurt. I think any information regarding how well you did as a support can only lend itself towards perhaps more people enjoying playing that role. We all like getting to the end of a match and being told how well we did. So if you're playing if you're playing someone like Decker, for example, Decker is a bit of was always in a bit of a bad position when it came to being told how well they did, especially considering the amount of kills that you could potentially get simply by putting your ultimate down would lead you to no assists whatsoever. Nothing that happened within that cage unless you actually physically shot them or stunned them or put a slow bubble in there would net you a kill. And the amount of times that I have played Decker with a howitzer on my team and secured a lot of kills via the old wombo combo with, not that it's really a wombo combo, but the combo of a Decker cage and a howitzer ultimate leads you to no assists. You don't get assists for putting a cage down. It's something that needs to be fixed, and it's something that I'm probably going to suggest when it comes to talking about supports in the future and potential changes to their kits. I'm probably going to suggest that just about every support should either have some form of shielding or healing, just to sort of balance them out across the board. That's at least one way that I'm thinking about looking at the rework videos for supports. Unfortunately, there's a lot more that I would like to say. I don't have too much more time to actually speak on this topic because I do have a very sick munchkin in the house, so I don't have much time to sit down and commit to a longer video and go and look after her. But I would love to hear your opinions on the topic. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have some suggestions for stats that you would like to see within the game? What's your opinion on more supports having some form of healing or shielding in their kit? Because most do. You have Muriel has a shield, and then you have healers like Narbash and FaZe, but then you have supports like Decker that have no form of healing whatsoever, just stuns. So the only way that they're told that they did well throughout the game is their assists. And then you have, your pseudo support kind of tanks like Richter. Obviously, he's the same thing. He only knows how well he did based off of his assists or his kills. But I would really like to see, not suggesting that, Richter should have an ability removed for a heal or a shield so that he is definitely a support. Because I do love the idea of him actually being a jungler. I think he does really well in jungle, and I know a lot of people that absolutely adore Richter and love playing him in jungle. But that's probably going to have to be it for now, so I'd love to hear your opinions. Do you agree, as I said, disagree? Got any suggestions on what you would like to see in game? Leave your comments in the down there section of the video. Consider subscribing for more content. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.